Thank goodness it's finally summer in New York City. I grew up between coastal California and the tropical lands of the Philippines. I don't hate the winter season and I don't mind it, but summer is my jam and I hope it's yours too. New York City, like many places in the United States, has 4 seasons. The winters here can be understatedly cold, so when summer comes around the corner, it's well appreciated. So what are we to do with warm weather at our disposal? Worry not, for this video is the Urban Caffeine 6 free things to do in New York City in the month of June. Welcome to Urban Caffeine. My name is Thea and you're watching a channel that doesn't want you to miss out on the summer months of New York City. If you like warm weather as much as I do, make sure to like this video so that YouTube knows to share it with other people that also love warm weather. New York City is not all concrete. After all, it's mostly islands. Brooklyn and Queens are part of Long Island, and then there's Manhattan and Staten Island, which are both islands. So where are the beaches? New York City has several of them. And I made this entire video on how to get to the popular beaches in New York City. Check that out in the description below. But one thing to know about beaches. The most popular beaches are Rockaway Beach, Brighton Beach, and Coney Island. Depending on where you live in New York, they're a bit of a trek to get to. We're talking an average of 1.5 hours of travel. I usually go there by either subway or ferry, and I've discussed these transit options in this video. The most crowded of all the beaches is Coney Island. I wouldn't recommend Coney Island if you're just looking for beach and sun, just because it's super crowded. Go there if you're into roller coasters, funnel cakes, and carnival fare. The boardwalk is what Coney Island is known for. And if you like sun and sand, I would recommend Rockaway Beach. There are designated places for swimming right where the lifeguard is at. And if you like to surf, Rockaway has areas for that too. There are even free surf lessons for youths that live in Rockaway. I'm recommending beaches this month because NYC beaches are not open year-round. They're open from Memorial Day, that's the end of May, to Labor Day, which is in September. So enjoy the beaches while you can. Some of you are thinking, how do you beach in New York City, going through subway or ferry when you have a towel, a cooler, or maybe a sunbrella? You do it strategically with your packing skills, strength, and tenacity. It's not uncommon to see people with coolers and wagons and all their beach gear on the subway headed to the beach. So don't shy away from getting on the subway with your big beach bag and a gallon of water. And yes, there are public restrooms and places to rinse off that sand. June 1st is National Dinosaur Day. Comment below your favorite dinosaur. Mine is the Brontosaurus. Maybe because when I was a kid, I was told the Brontosaurus does not kill but eats veggies. But ironically, my second favorite dinosaur is the T-Rex because it's a killer. If you're into dinosaurs, the museum to visit this month is the American Museum of Natural History. It has quite a collection of dinosaur fossils. And if you're not into dinosaurs, maybe you're into sharks, space, the Serengeti, or maybe even gems and minerals. If you live in either New York, New Jersey, or Connecticut, you can pay what you wish for your admission. So it's not exactly free, but it's almost free if you pay $1. And here's the thing with that. Some people get really awkward when it comes to paying just $1 to get into the museum, especially when there's a human agent involved. My example for this is the Met Museum. What happens at the Met Museum is you go to the front desk, they'll check your ID to make sure you're eligible for pay what you wish admission. And then the attendant will ask, how much do you want to donate? And it gets even more awkward because they'll tack on the suggested donation is $25. So you have to declare to the world, you have to declare to people within your 5 feet vicinity just how cheap you really are. So part of you wants to stick to your guns and pay $1 or $2 to get in the museum, and the other part of you wants the approval of anyone within hearing range. So what do? So that's when you stand your ground, you look that agent in the eye, and you say $1, please. Gotta be polite. But in all seriousness, people should not be pressured to pay more than what they can with pay what you wish admission. That's what it's there for. What's shameful is when people that live in the area cannot go and enjoy the museums because they cannot afford it. But for those that are able to pay full price to visit these museums, organizations will appreciate it. If you do end up going to the Natural History Museum, you'll be in the Upper West Side of Manhattan. You can either walk around that neighborhood, which is nice this time of year, or you can go over to the Belvedere Castle in Central Park, which is free and you can enjoy a great view of Central Park. The American Museum of Natural History is next to the C and B subway line, or an avenue and a half away is the 1 and 2 trains. I mentioned earlier that beaches are a thing in New York City, but also enjoyable are the rivers and bay. And one thing to do is kayak, and it's free. I don't know how real this story is, but I have heard of a person that would kayak from New Jersey to New York for their daily commute. I just imagine someone walking the streets of Manhattan carrying a canoe or a kayak. I can totally see it happening. There are a lot of interesting people in New York City. But for us that just want to experience kayaking, there are plenty of places in the city that offer free use of their equipment, and some even include sunblock. Some places I recommend are Manhattan Community Boathouse at Pier 96, Downtown Boathouse at Pier 26, Pier 2 at Brooklyn Bridge Park, and the Red Hook Boaters at Valentino Pier Park. There are others that I didn't include. If you want to share a facility that offers free kayaking, comment below. Another fun thing to do, but it's not free, is to jet ski. You can rent a jet ski starting for an hour at $189. June has Juneteenth, the holiday that celebrates the liberation of slaves in the United States. And the entire month of June is BLM month. In the spirit of celebrating emancipation, I recommend going to an exhibit that's on display at the Brooklyn Museum called Africa Fashion. After Africa won its independence, it opened up creative expression throughout the continent. In the realm of fashion, this creative expression kept evolving. If there's anything I learned in my art studies, is that fashion is a good reflection of the economic and social zeitgeist of an era. For example, we went from double-breasted coats to single-breasted coats at some point in history because of scarcity of materials. Having a double-breasted coat was a sign of wealth. That's just one example, and there are many examples out there. So pay attention to fashion. It's telling of the times. The Brooklyn Museum is free on the first Saturday of the month from February to August and October. So for June, that's June 3rd. If you miss this free Saturday, don't worry. Africa Fashion is up until October. And if you don't mind paying admission, there's a talk happening on June 22nd. The Brooklyn Museum is in, surprise, surprise, Brooklyn. While you're there, you can visit Prospect Park or the Brooklyn Botanic Garden. Prospect Park is free, but the Brooklyn Botanic Garden is not. You can get to the Brooklyn Museum by taking the 2, 3, and 4 trains. Pickleball is the hottest sport right now, and it's ridiculous just how popular this sport is. It's so popular that it's looking at taking over the shuttered stores of Bed Bath & Beyond and Old Navy. For some context, Bed Bath & Beyond recently declared bankruptcy. But going back to pickleball, here in New York, I'm seeing courts pop up everywhere, and many of them are free. I've linked this site in the description below that provides guidance on where to play. But note, a thing about these free courts is some of them you might have to bring your own net. But in my experience, investing in a net is better than paying court time, especially for indoor courts. My net cost about $120, and indoor courts in my area cost $60 per hour. So if I play for a couple hours, which I already have, I've already gotten my return on investment on the net compared to paying for court time at a facility. So buying a net is well worth the investment, even if you're playing for a handful of times in the summer. But the thing is, in order to lessen the friction of getting people to play with me, I had to buy 2 sets of paddles. It's easier to convince people to come out and play if they don't have to pay for courts or rent equipment. I used to play tennis in the summer, and the problem with tennis is getting someone to play with you. It's the same with pickleball. The difference is, with pickleball, it has a short learning curve and it's easy to pick up. Unlike tennis, most people have to have lessons first before they can hit the ball properly, let alone play a casual game. Pickleball is as if tennis and ping pong had an offspring. The thing I hate about ping pong, this is why I don't play ping pong, is that the ball is so fluffy. It's like hitting air. It's like hitting nothing. So there's no satisfaction in hitting a ping pong ball. Unlike tennis, there is substance to that ball. You can really hit it. When I was first introduced to pickleball, I thought it would be like the ping pong ball. But no, the pickleball ball has substance to it. So there is satisfaction to playing and hitting a pickleball ball. And lastly, because it's summer, people have the tendency to stay outdoors for as much time as possible. A good way to extend your time outside after dark is by picnicking at an outdoor movie screening. Free outdoor movie nights are everywhere. The New York City Parks and Recs has a webpage showing all the places where you can watch a free movie outdoors. Link to this is in the description of this video. But you know what's also free and fun to do? This is sort of a hack that I learned from a friend who loves niche music. If there's a picnic area near a concert venue, you can go and picnic for free while enjoying the concert music. Because we all know that music at concerts tend to get very loud. The one I went to is in Prospect Park. The music venue was the Lenahorn Bandshell, and we picnicked somewhere around this area. We brought our own blankets, food, and drinks. We couldn't see the band, but we sure could hear them. So there's your Urban Caffeine edition of 6 free things to do in the month of June in New York City. If there's something that you want to add for this month, comment below. And if you're up to something special, also comment below. I'm always curious as to what people are up to. And please share this video with someone you think might find it useful, because a good act of caring is sharing. It's a great way to help out this channel. In fact, it's a great free way to help out this channel. By sharing this video, you give the algorithm a better chance of understanding just who to push this video to. So make sure you like, you share, and you hit subscribe. Again, thank you so much for tuning in, and thank you to all the Urban Caffeine supporters on Patreon. If you want to learn more about Patreon, check out patreon.com/urbancaffeine. Until the next video, happy New Yorking.